when you went through this, Scotty, tell us what it meant to you to have children in your lives, like physically in your lives every day.
The best part of my day, the best part of my day, like you wake up in the morning and then my daughter Yasmin, going into her room to wake her up, to get her ready for school, she would look at me and she would smile when she saw my face, and that smile was like best part. Anything that could have happened to me for the whole day.
Did you ever think that this could happen to you? That you could just be cut out of your kids' lives?
Never. I thought that no matter how much money my ex-wife spent in the courthouse, I thought that no way in the world did I do anything wrong to lose my children. So there's no way in the world that they'll take them from me. I figured that as long as I continue to come down here and tell the truth, and I behave like I never did anything, never said anything, never sent a bad text message, never cursed in her direction, never did one thing wrong, I never thought that in a million years that they would take my children from me.
So you thought if you showed them what a good parent and a good person you were, that they couldn't possibly ignore the fact that you had a right to be with your children?
Yeah, never thought this could happen.
They tried their best to do everything they could to make you look like you're violating some law somewhere.
Exactly.
And is that how it felt? Like they were just trying to make you as bad a person as they possibly could.
Exactly. As you take a person's children from them, it's like...
Isn't it kind of like ripping a part of you away?
That's exactly what it did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it did. It felt like I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. So during holidays, I'd be locked up in my house. And people, they say, you can't stand up to that judge and you can't say these kinds of things to a judge. But I'm a man who never did anything wrong, and I just want to be with my children.
Do you think it was wrong for you to want to be with your children?
No, not at all. It's natural.
So what if one of them were to say to you, who are you to stand up to somebody in authority if they're saying that you shouldn't be with your children? Shouldn't you just accept it?
You can't. You can't accept it. It's like, it kills you. It kills you that they can do that. I mean, and for me, that's the big question. How is that possible? How can you, in 2014, 2012, 2011, how can you take around $200,000
wow.
in order to get the custody of the children?
Yeah.
And I mean...
And she continues to get paid.
And she continues to get paid.
Does she get alimony?
No alimony, just child support.
Okay.
$600 every 2 weeks.
She had a lawyer,
yep,
and you didn't.
That went on for a couple of years.
You didn't have a lawyer.
No attorney for me.
Okay. And still, nobody said, we're going to come in and protect your rights, or protect the children's rights to you.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
And you're aware that criminals get to see their kids.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So what you're saying is fit parents who get lied about don't get to see their own kids.
Exactly. There was a guy here in California a bunch of years back that started his child on fire. He burned his kid over 70% of his body. That man had more time with his child and more custodial rights. Once he got out of prison, had more time, even while he was in prison. They forced that kid to spend time with his dad.
But he was a criminal, and he was a convicted criminal, and he got protection.
Yes,
is what you're saying.
More rights to his child. The child he tried to kill.
Okay, wait. So you're saying, so he's a criminal, and he got more protections to a child he harmed because he was a criminal than you did when you didn't qualify for those criminal protections.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And again, never committed a crime.
Yeah.
Never been in trouble with the law. Never done anything where I'm a harm or a threat.
So there's no danger,
never,
okay.
Never one single thing where I'm a threat to any person I work. None of my jobs in the past, never have I been in trouble at work. Never anything where you would say, well, he's a bad person, shouldn't be around people, children, animals, nothing.
Yeah.
Never committed a crime.
It must be really hard to bring up the memories.
Yeah, no, the hardest part, like you said earlier, the hardest part was when they first did it. When they first did this, that's when it was really, really, really bad. And I was so traumatized that I couldn't go back to court. I didn't want to go back to the courthouse because of what the one judge was doing to me. So if I filed anything, and I go down there to the courthouse, like I file to get my rights, my time with my children. I go down there to the courthouse because I filed something. They made me pay her attorney's fees.
Yeah, because didn't you say you would lose something else every time you either talk to the mediator or the court? Or
exactly, like that. So I go down there, and here, why are we wasting time coming down here? They had me in court every week. I was in court every week. They filed something every single week.
And how long did that
For 2
go?
years. That went on for 2 years.
And didn't you say your work started punishing you even before the court did?
I lost my job. So I lost my job because of all of the...
And that's as soon as you told them what charges she was claiming and...
Yep.
Okay.
So, so that went on, like I said, that went on for 2 years. And then her attorney would file something and say he quit his job. Got fired. They said he quit his job because he doesn't want to pay child support to the mother. And
so they tried to make you look like their definition of a deadbeat dad.
Exactly.
So now all of a sudden, not only are you facing separation of your children, but now you're facing another stereotype.
Yep.
Okay.
And at the time, I was looking for work like I was going everywhere. I went to all West bus lines here in Sacramento and applied for a job to clean toilets so that I could have money to pay to see my children.
So you were willing to do anything. And prior to all this, I mean, weren't you like pretty popular in high school and college, and you did really well in athletics? I mean, popular in the sports arena, and didn't your children benefit quite a bit from your participation in their life? Like, isn't your son a tennis prodigy?
Yeah. My son plays tennis. He was 4 years old. I did a lot of things. He was about 2 to 3 years old. I did a lot of things. Contacted a lot of sports agencies, and I worked out a deal to get my son a $2 million scholarship to a tennis school in Paris when he was 4 years old.
So clearly he benefited from your influence and you being in his life.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the biggest thing. So I do this. I make this deal happen where I get my son this $2 million scholarship to a tennis school in Paris. Now, his mom has a website somewhere in Florida where they're living now, where they're begging for money. He's living in Miami now.
Okay.
Begging for money to support his tennis. So
because that was the benefit he got from you.
Exactly.
So when the court cut a fit-loving father out of these children's lives, they also lost a benefit that was developing him into an adult that was going to benefit beyond what any other child might even have in their life, right? Like, it's not a minor thing. It's not, okay, you can go figure that out on your own when you turn 18, right?
It was huge because I got my son the scholarship, and I got my older son, his tennis paid for, and he was working, playing tennis at a tennis school in Paris. All his training was paid for. Now we come back to America, and so all the kids lost out on the benefits of training at that high level.
So they basically lost all the benefit. So was your daughter getting into athletics as well?
She is. So she's playing tennis now. So they're all both kids are playing tennis.
And there were other things that you used to share with them, values and things that you can't necessarily share on Skype or in a phone call, right? Like, I noticed in the interview with Today, where I noticed he looked up at you in that interview and smiled when they talked about why did he enjoy tennis, and he said it was fun, and he looked up and smiled at you, didn't he? Yeah.
My kids and I mean, there's no one that could deny the relationship that we have. I love my children more than anything in this world, and I know that if left alone, not being manipulated by their mother or by courts or by anyone else, that my kids would have been able to thrive. So in separate households. Mm-hmm. So if their mother does what she does with them in her house, if I was allowed to do what I was doing with my children, I have no doubt in my mind that my kids would have been whole, healthy, happy, and wouldn't have any problems whatsoever.
Okay.
But going through that kind of situation, there's no telling what could happen to them.
Yeah. So you think there's some permanent effects now? You think that there's definite...
I'm sure of it.
You were the one considering divorce, and you thought, hey, this is what's going to happen. Do you think maybe it might even lead to more people hurting each other, like adults hurting each other, because they'd rather hurt each other than lose their kids in a divorce?
I think anything. I'm sure.
Couldn't it increase the violence, maybe?
I'm sure it would.
So here they're thinking they're reducing it, or they're protecting kids, or they're protecting people. But I'd say, that there might be an indication that it's actually making things worse.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
That it could make things worse.
I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it
Like
is.
it-